So, Dr. McNally, the MRCU department has had its challenges, as everyone else has during COVID. Tell us a little bit about some of those challenges that the MRCU department has been facing.
Well, like everyone else, we've had to deal with COVID, and that has influenced our internal operations, some of our collaborations with other entities here on the island, like the airport. Certainly, I've been referring to the last 6 weeks or so as a perfect storm of, just because of what people are experiencing out there with all the mosquitoes.
Hmm.
So the environment really has worked against us, but in the favor of producing mosquitoes. So since really late May, early June, there have been a series of high tide events, mostly associated with new moon and full moon phases,
Okay. Okay.
that flood the eggs of these mosquitoes. And then we've had a series of rain events in between that. And that, coupled with the amount of acreage that we have on island here, where those mosquitoes can be produced, primarily mangrove swamps, but all of the other standing water that you get on this island,
Hmm.
again, I refer to it as a perfect storm, and it really has been.
Okay. Yeah, we know folks have been complaining about mosquitoes carrying them away, like in the olden days.
Yes.
What is happening now? What plans are in place, and what has the department been doing to alleviate that issue?
Well, we've been spraying for the adult mosquitoes, the mosquitoes that are biting and annoying people since, again, June 1st. So we've had nearly 5 trucks go out almost every night, and generally on Saturday nights to spray these mosquitoes. The airplane goes up when it can, so the airplane has been influenced by the environment as well. People will remember the Saharan dust that grounded our planes and their ability to spray for roughly 3 nights. Prior to that, there was a week of very high winds that also impacted our ability to fly, and it was so strong that it also impacted the trucks. When winds exceed a certain mile per hour, we cannot spray. It's not effective.
Right.
And then you add on top of that what's going on at the airport with not just COVID, but their runway enhancements. That has limited the number of hours that we can fly. So up until, well, it's been ongoing. Monday through Thursday, there are only 3 hours that we can fly. Um, Normally, we would fly during the day to to stop the production that's going on in the water. We can't do that Monday through Thursday with just a 3 hour window.
Mm.
Fridays, they're open all day. We can fly all day, which is a bonus. And then they've been closed on the weekends for the most part. So COVID, the repairs on the airport, again, this perfect storm of the environment. But the guys have been working as hard as they can under the circumstances.
During this time, have you seen areas in which not only can you do things differently, but areas in which you can improve operations because of COVID?
Wow, it's a very good question. I don't know that that's translated to the field yet. Certainly, with admin working remotely, yeah, we've enhanced some things with admin, but we'll meet next week for the first time as a management group. We haven't done that in a while, and we'll be talking about aspects of the field that we might be able to enhance.
Okay. Besides the challenges of the environment for your external team to work, were there any other challenges that really stood out to you as far as your team was concerned and how they were able to pull through that?
Well, I think some of the challenges are probably not unique to us, but they are challenges that impacted many of the departments here on island. Uh, Keeping our people safe. That was one of the biggest challenges.
Mm.
So, we're always focused on mosquito surveillance and control, but under the circumstances and the cloud of COVID, it was really all about keeping our people safe. And it's not just the nuts and bolts of that, which extended to having our trucks sanitized,
Mhm.
making sure that the same driver gets the same truck every day, the signage, the masks, the social distancing. It was the mental aspect of that and the home influences. So people that have to care for children, older individuals, or people that are at risk health-wise for a variety of reasons. I would say those were probably the biggest challenges.
Okay. Just to give the viewing public an idea of the mass of work that your team covers, can you give us a scenario, set up a picture of what kind of work goes into the coverage on islands?
Yeah, I can. We had to explain to some folks downtown, as I referred to it last week, the situation as it exists across the island. And I know it's bad, and we all take it seriously here at MRCU because we don't want the quality of life of folks on the island to be impacted by mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. There are already enough influences and impacts to quality of life. But when you look at a map of Grand Cayman, what you see is a lot of green. There's a lot of mangrove swamp out there. Mm-hmm. And all of that is potential production sites, breeding sites, people refer to it, for mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. So if you look at that large area of green that is east of Newlands, there's almost 15,000 acres of potential mosquito production there. And we only work a small edge of roughly 500 acres of that 15,000 acres. There is a system of canals and dikes there that were put in years ago to help limit the production of mosquitoes in the area. But roughly 15 years ago, that system was rendered inoperable. The one canal that carries water out to North Sound and would subsequently bring fresh water into the canal system from North Sound was blocked 15 years ago. So it's basically a non-functioning system now. And that isn't the only problem on the island, but it's one of the largest, the most massive problems that we have.
Okay. What are the plans going forward?
Well, plans moving forward for that is to engage someone or someones that have the expertise that can look at a system like that and determine what might help, not just mosquito control, but also help or support other people that have a vested interest in those 15,000 acres of swamp. There's the central mangrove swamp. Mm-hmm. That is a protected area. We certainly don't want to impact that. There's a freshwater aquifer that's important to the island, so we definitely don't want to impact that. Mm-hmm. So if we can get the stakeholders, the people that we need to collaborate with, and then get, again, an expert in water management, hopefully we can come up with a plan to mitigate mosquitoes and keep everything else the way it is and safe.
Okay. As you move towards leading your team back to some form of normalcy within the internal operations, what can persons expect? What can the public expect from MRCU going forward after being basically shut down for a number of months?
Yeah, we haven't been shut down, but we have worked from what I would call a skeleton crew position. So hopefully, we'll get some of these challenges like childcare ironed out. We'll come back to normal operating hours next week with a full staff, and people will see us out and about more than they have in the past. So most of our efforts have been focused on spraying biting mosquitoes, have been focused on the mangrove swamps. We really haven't been looking at people's backyards. That's another issue with all the rains. Mm-hmm. So that would be the biggest difference that I would expect people to see. Just more MRCU on their streets and potentially looking at containers in backyards.
Okay. Any words of advice as normal for persons who, may, for some reason or the other, just be happy that we've gotten the rains, but has really neglected any lying water that may be in their yard that could potentially cause more problems for them as house or property owners. Any words for them?
Well, as always, look for those containers in your yard that have the ability to hold water. You know, with the current situation, we're really focused on the mangrove swamp mosquitoes, but we can't forget about the disease potential of those mosquitoes that are in the containers. Mangrove swamps not involved in disease. It's the container mosquitoes that are involved in potentially transmitting disease. We've had no disease activity this year. We're hoping that continues because our plate is full right now. But people can assist themselves, their neighbors, by again looking for those containers. Any container that has the potential to hold water, just tip it over, get rid of that water, or flush it once a week, and you're good to go.
Dr. McNally, thank you very much.